there's the card that we're going to make first. This is the clean and simple card. All right. For this card, I chose the Timeless Tulips, and I'm going to use this image because it matches the punch, and this leaf because it matches the punch. And then I chose Happy Birthday to go with this because I need some birthday cards. But I'm going to pull out my, what do you call this? Mask. I can't think. And I threw the others in the trash because they would not stick anymore. So I'm a little short on that. Let me make another mask real quick. So I have two. All right, it won't take me long. And I used two colors. Show you now. If you're wondering what this is Avery ID labels, removable ID labels, and they're in an 8.5 by 11 sheet, I think is what it is. And this is so much nicer than the Post-it notes, because you can use these over and over and it doesn't bleed through. When it starts to bleed through, you've used this up that it's not worth saving anyway. So I'm gonna cut this out real quick so I have a second one. I needed a filler, so to speak. So I went looking. There wasn't anything in the Timeless Tulips, and I went looking for some kind of little tiny stick thing, and I found one in Bloom and Grow. It's this one right here. Hey, Linda. All right, so that's what I'm using. And now the hardest part of this, since there is a, what do you call it, a cut in it where you can take it, the backing off. These, when you do it this way, you don't get one. So what I do is I take my pokey tool, I get it started, and then pull it off that way. So let me move this up here. Oh, and you know what? I forgot my water. So let me get my water. I was sitting here with everything with that. And I need that because I'm using two colors. Now I will tell you, I took and I inked up my Rich Razzleberry stamp, or stamp pad. So it may be a little darker than this one, but that's okay. All right, so for my colors, I'm going to use Cherry Cobbler, Rich Razzleberry, and then Old Olive for the ink. So I'm going to start with my Cherry Cobbler. All right, I'm going to set that up there. And I'm going to ink this up. And then down here in this corner, I'm going to stamp it. And I'm going to leave it a few seconds for the ink to transfer. I don't have a pad under this, so you want to give it a little bit of time for the ink to transfer to your cardstock. And now I want that other one behind it. So what I'm going to take and do, and this one I think I punched out, so it's a little bit bigger, so I move it to get it to work. And now I'm going to take my Rich Razzleberry. All right, I have a towel here to dry it off after I clean it. All right, I'm going to take my Rich Razzleberry, and I'm not going to press too hard. And I'm going to stamp it like so. All right, a little bit darker, but not a whole lot. And I'm going to remove my mask, and see, this one's a little bit bigger, so I have to be careful with that. I didn't notice that it was too far down, but that's how that is. So what I'm going to take and do is I'm going to fix that. I'm going to take a blender pen. Let me grab one real quick from over here. And I'm going to pick up some ink. I'm just going to kind of fill it in. so it's not as noticeable. Oh. If I want to squiggle it out, it's a little bit better. So I filled it in a little bit. All right, now what I'm going to take and do is I need to add my leaves and my sprigs. I don't know what else you call them. So I'm going to put my mask back on, like so. And my leaves are the old olive, so I'm going to pull those out. And I did switch my leaves up. I'm going to stamp that first one up there. And then this one I kind of angled down further. Now when you do this, make sure you don't go past where your mask is. And then for the other side, what I did was I flipped it around and stamped it out so that I got just a little bit different leaf. Now for my sprigs, I decided to use the rich razzleberry. So I'm going to stamp those like so. And then I put another one down here. And when you do this, make sure you stick your stem onto your mask so that you have it, you don't have that stem up in the air. All right, got those done. Now I'm going to take, and I'm going to use the skinny end and fill this in, because that one was hidden behind. I'm going to use the marker and just color those baubles in. I don't know what else you'd call them. So I'm coloring it in like so. All right, and I don't worry if there's a little bit of white showing. In nature, nothing is perfect, so you have the white also. Now I'm going to take my happy birthday, and I decided to use my cherry cobbler, make sure my card is straight, to stamp my happy birthday. And there's my clean and simple card. All right. To step it up, I went from this to this. So I added a layer and I punched out my images, stamped them and punched them out. Now, I will tell you, I've already done the stamping and punching because it just saves some time. So the first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to put my flowers together so I know kind of where to stamp my sprig. I don't know what else to call it but a sprig. So I'm going to take glue dots, because I love my glue dots, and I'm going to add a glue dot to the bottom. I'm going to take this one and I'm going to stick that one on. Then I'm going to take another one and another glue dot, and I'm going to stick that one on like so. So I've got that one. Then I want to do the other side, and I'm going to, the other flower, I'm going to flip it so that I have that other end of the leaf, just for some interest. So I'm going to put a glue dot on it. All right. And I'm going to stick that one right about there, like so. So I have my flowers done. What I'm going to do is just going to kind of place them where I think I want them. I'll pull them down just a little bit. I'm going to take my sprig, and again, I'm using the rich razzleberry, and I'm going to put one right about there. All right.